Yeah, hello everyone. I'm Estelle Chen. I'm ORCID's. Yeah, okay. Hello everyone. I'm Estelle Chen. I'm ORCID's APAC engagement manager. I'm based in Taiwan. So today I'm very happy to share a bit more about how ORCID and Pure can collaborate a little bit more together to enable trusted connections that help open science. So ORCID's vision is a world where all who participate in research, scholarship, and innovations are uniquely identified and connected through across time, borders, and disciplines. And the theme today is to introduce identifiers that enable open science together with pure community. So the global research, the global research community has the power to improve the research information of all the stuff. I'm sorry, but I didn't really see my slides. Let me just do it again.
So I think if you go up top and pin.
Oh yes, here I am. So yeah. Okay. Oh, here we go. Yeah, sorry. One more time. Now I see my slides. Yeah, so the global research community has the power to improve the value and openness of each research information, and the use of persistent identifiers like PIDs streamlines information sharing and brings transparency and trust to the creation and reuse of research information. And imagine a perfect world where all research sorry, it's stuck in neck again. Just let me quickly do it. I apologize because the slides are frozen.
Did you pin it up?
Yeah, just let me do it. Okay, now it's clear. Yeah, so imagine a perfect world where research information is openly available and the researchers are accurately credited for their contributions. And the research institutes are accurately cited, and the founders can track impact of funding and resources. Publishers can streamline submission and review process, and accurate search and discovery tools are available, and researchers can easily share information about their contributions and affiliations. And the evaluators have access to open data to study knowledge flow. So yeah, so this perfect world actually begins from building open science. Building open science makes this possible. And open science is about sharing, and open information infrastructure is needed to create trusted linkages between researchers, research organizations, publishers, and funding organizations. So next, I'm going to check a bit more about the value of persistent identifiers. So PIDs for like ORCID ID for researchers and like OR for places and DOR for things are really fundamental in anchoring and reference information in a trusted and interoperable way. Then what is ORCID exactly? ORCID is a global, unique, and open identifier for researchers. And the researchers share their ORCID IDs with organizations using platforms like Pure during regular research workflows. And it's a place to store and share those connections between IDs and research activities or affiliations. So this is the example of Pure at University of Bristol. They connect researchers' education information to the researchers' ORCID records. And this is the example of Bond University in Australia. They use Pure to connect professional activities like a researcher's works to the researcher's ORCID records. And this is the diagram about illustrates interoperability. So yeah, so the diagram illustrates the usage of PIDs like ORCID enables interoperability, which is essential in data sharing. And it's just more than data sharing. It's actually sharing accurate data with trust and transparency. So this begins from researchers having an ORCID ID first. And researchers share their ORCID IDs with employers like universities with funders. And then employers like universities, they can connect information like employers' professional services to the researchers' ORCID records, and funders can connect funding information to the to the researchers' ORCID records as well. And this saves time and it helps synchronization between the funding system and the research ORCID records. And then the universities, they can collect information like the funding information back for their further use, such as for evaluation purposes, and the funding system can collect professional services back for their use as well. So publishers can connect publication information to the ORCID registry, which can be further adopted or used by different organizations, and the publishers can also collect information back. So that is to say, this interoperability enables research information in publications, in researchers' professional services, or in funding information can be circulated around, and each part of the community contribute to help build accurate data. So here I'm going to talk about ORCID as a global community, but we have local teams. So this is the ORCID APAC engagement team. So in addition to myself, we have two other colleagues here in the APAC region, Camilla and Brian. Yeah, so here is more about the ORCID community. So ORCID is a non-profit membership and platform neutral organization. ORCID are sustained by members from publishers, funders, research institutes, and others. And ORCID is governed by representatives from the board. Now over 9 million researchers have registered from the ID, over 1,000 member organizations around the globe in 51 countries, including 22 national consortia. There are 600 research institutes using ORCID in different sectors. And this slide is a closer look at ORCID members in the APAC region. So at present, we have 115 members in total, and we got 134 integrations. It means connections between ORCID member system with the ORCID registry, and Pure is the third most used platforms here. We have 4 consortia in Australia, Japan, New Zealand, and in Taiwan, and research institutes account for most members. So from the perspective of research institutes, so more and more research institutions now adopt ORCID because it saves reporting time for researchers and it improves ability for better evaluations. Now over 700 research institutes are ORCID members, and then they are actively integrate ORCID into their reporting workflows or research management workflows. These institutions are using different identifiers as well, like they use ROR for managing their organizational needs. They use DOI to manage their scholarly outcomes. In many countries, these efforts are being coordinated on a national scale through ORCID consortia. Yeah, I believe now we all have a little bit more knowledge about what ORCID is. And so next, I'm going to share a bit more on how ORCID and Pure can connect it. So in these slides, so let's start from with the common ground. So there is considerable overlap between ORCID and the Pure communities in the APAC region. So 21 out of 35 Pure clients here in the APAC region, they are also ORCID members, and 13 of them use Pure to connect it with ORCID. 9 hasn't done yet, or they use different platforms. So by adopting pieces like ORCID, the Pure community can realize your benefits to the utmost indeed and to support open science. So connect Pure with ORCID enhances data quality and transparency and enables data synchronization between Pure and multiple platforms. So on the left-hand side, you can see this is the diagram about the current Pure scenario between Cypher or Scopus. And through the mechanism of ORCID, it's possible to reach out to more data resources like DOI providers. So we actually have 5 DOI providers in Asia. And it's possible to reach out to more data sources, to vendors or different service providers. So trusted connections are really the foundation for open science, and connecting with ORCID to Pure maximize the linkage between researchers and research institutions, publishers, and funding organizations in a really trusted and reliable way. And this helps research institutes secure data in Pure and in reduce burden, administration burden, and allow them to build an open infrastructure. Connect ORCID with Pure is actually quite straightforward because Pure is one of the ORCID-enabled systems and it offers building support. And so for organizations who want to connect with ORCID, it's just turn that on without any customization, and Pure can be configured to allow full synchronization with ORCID. So in the next few slides, I'm going to share a bit more about the practical steps. There are 5 steps in connecting Pure with ORCID. So the first is through OAuth. It's the process that inviting researchers to share permissions with you. Invite researchers to share their ORCID ID with Pure, and the Pure system can have permission to collect data from ORCID to Pure and to collect data from Pure to ORCID as well. And you can see on the right-hand side, this is a screenshot from the Pure system interface. So there is a button called Create or Connect your ORCID ID. The second, so it's about store and publicly display your ORCID IDs to, ORCID ID to signal that your system Pure is support the use of ORCID. The third step is called Connect. So basically, it's connect information from your Pure system to the researchers' ORCID records. It saves researchers time to maintain their ORCID records, and it helps to update their ORCID records to the most up-to-date, as the same as the information in Pure, and ensure transparency and trust connections. The fourth and the fifth step is called, Collect. So you can collect information from researchers' ORCID records to their Pure profiles. And the fifth step is called Synchronization. And it's really about using ORCID members API connected with the Pure system to save researchers time about an effort of manually keying stuff and reduce the risk of errors. So yeah, so finally, to pull my slides by iterating the concept that we each play a role. So for the open science, for the perfect world, for what we have shared, if we want that vision to become a reality, each part of the community must participate together to build an information structure that enables sharing, and not just about sharing, but sharing accurate data for further usage, like for evaluation purposes, and to really give researchers more time doing research. So yeah, I appreciate, thank you. I'm happy to take questions from here. And there are some materials more about ORCID.
Well, thank you very much for an interesting presentation here. From our part of Elsevier and previously being a part of the Pure support, we know how much our researchers or institutions around the world love having this feature and enable them not to do things twice. So it's always a thing, we hate doing things double, right? So we once in a while get a feedback from clients about the connection and how to set it up. Do you also sort of gather these information? Do you have sort of a subsection or something where you go into discussion with client how to connect Pure and ORCID and optimize the connection also?
I think one of the feedback that I learned with Pure clients that are also ORCID members is that sometimes they want to know more about why involving researchers first. So I think it's important to let them know, it's easy. You just use the create or connect feature or function to encourage your researchers to engage with you. I think that's kind of the feedback
Yeah, so the feedback you get is most often from sort of administrator and not of pure system on how to set it up, but not as much the individual researcher that reads out on lacking fields or lacking data. It's more on an administration level.
Yeah, because sometimes I think most of the time the feedback we get directly is most about from research managers. So it's more about, the more aligned with administrative stuff, but we are also happy to learn, how we can do more and how we can collaborate more and just in response to your comments or suggestions. So.
Yeah. Yeah. And you mentioned that 21 out of 35 pure clients, I think was the number you mentioned. So there's still some clients who's not using ORCID. Are you aware of why they are not using the ORCID integration? Is because they haven't seen it yet, or is that because they have chosen not to do the integration?
It's really a good question. It's actually something I want to figure out first. So that's, I think, yeah, of course. I think one thing I could imagine is that probably they haven't had a chance to fully understand the benefits of using ORCID and Pure together. I think that's probably the situation here, and that's why I want to share a bit more about its the useful cases and some practical guidance to them. And probably sometimes they start with using ORCID public API. That's good as well. And probably they don't let us know because public API is open to public. So if you share with ORCID directly, we won't be able to know there is public API unless they are a member because they use member API in that sense.
Perfect. Well, a question came in about badges. So people have seen that you in ORCID have these badges or sort of best practices that you can get if you do integrations with with ORCID. Can you explain a little bit about the badges?
Yeah, of course. So in the past few years, ORCID develops the best practices called Collect and Connect program, and through the program, we award member integration badges if they fit our best practices. But also with some experiences and after we learned some feedback, we found probably the badging process is not the most efficient way. So now still we advocate the best practice, the Collect and Connect program. But we don't really award badges anymore. But that doesn't mean we abandon the spirit of Collect and Connect program. We just don't award badges. I hope this clarifies a bit.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much for taking the time to come in here and explain to us a little bit about the integration between ORCID and Pure. I know for a fact that we in Pure is very keen on this integration, and I know for a fact also that our clients is very keen on this integration here. So thank you very much for taking the time.
Yeah, sure. And just one last comment, if I may. I think,
of course.
Yeah, ORCID has now launched a service provider program. So we certify service providers that meets ORCID's best practice. So I'm sure Pure is working on that. I look forward to welcoming you as soon as possible about joining our service provider certification program to offer the community the best solution.
Thank you. Thank you so much.